Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another scene of Living World of Darkness, Werewolf Rage Across New York. We start the scene off with, a pretty random day in March in New York City. Um, it's one of those days where it's not extremely cold, it's not extremely sunny. Actually, the weather is kind of like, meh. One of those days that nothing seems to be out of the ordinary. One of these days that looks like, the city is just in this flow and everything just continues on like a giant treadmill. Nothing ever happens. Or does it? Because we all know a big city like New York, there's always something happening. You just need to know where to look. And today we start the scene off with Dorian. Dorian Atkins, who is roaming the streets together with one of his friends, Megan, or contact, or is in a conversation with her and a girl named Kylie, who is a student, but has been basically living on the streets for like ever since the school year started in August, due to not having enough money to have like a house or an apartment or a student flat or whatever. She's been living out of her car for like the last like I said, 7 or 8 months. She met Dorian in like a soup kitchen where she did some volunteer work and was provided with like a meal and meals and like means to, you know, take a shower if she helped out. And yeah, she was a general nice girl. And the three of you have been having some discussion over what would actually homeless people be discussing.
Um, I mean, the Megan is part of an activist group, so they're probably talking about probably the last like march or whatever they had.
Hmm. Yep. She's pretty excited about it. She's like, man, we had so many people come in. It's like at least like a dozen more than last time. This is really going somewhere. Next time you should show up as well. As she's looking at Kylie. And Dorian, are you going to be there next time?
I'll try.
Come on, it's not like you have anything better to do. Seriously. And you should totally help me out with like pamphlets and that kind of stuff making. Like I even got some funding. It's pretty crazy, but people seem to be really starting to get more and more aware of the situation.
Yeah, I'll help the with the pamphlets, and I mean, when is it?
Um, and she'll check like actually a paper agenda. I got one noted down next month, like a week or three from now.
A week or three? That's a pretty big gap there.
Yeah, I know, but you know, I kind of want to prepare. I have something really special in mind, and it's just gonna need some time. I need to pull some groups together. Like, I'm not alone in doing this, and there's a team, and I want to see if we can connect with teams from our boroughs.
All right, well, I'll make sure to be there right after my manicure, and he'll smile. Obviously joking.
Yeah, don't forget your hairdresser appointment, dude, because looks like you need a little, trimming.
A little bit, little bit.
Mm-hmm. Kyle, are you gonna be there? And uh, Kylie will just sort of shrug, says, I don't know, it feels like that's gonna be in like the middle of my exams. Not quite sure if I can make it, to be honest. It's not that I don't want to, but yeah. But I'll try. I'll try. And yeah, Megan will sort of reply like, "Hey, wouldn't be the same without you." So I have to head off. I'll see you guys in tomorrow. Yeah,
That works.
cool. And yeah, Megan will leave, and Kylie is just gonna ask which way Dorian is heading. If she can walk with him for a bit.
Yeah, sure. I was gonna meet. Well, I was gonna go under the bridge there. There's usually a get together around that time.
Right. Yeah, I'm just gonna go to my car. But it's I think in the same direction. I've been hearing some kind of strange stories in this neighborhood, so I was hoping that could walk with you for a bit.
Yeah, I'll walk to your car. I'll walk you to your car.
Cool, thanks. And yeah, the two of you will walk to like a parking lot near like a small park. Actually near Bridge of Queens, towards Queens. Um, and she'll just open her car door and it's like, "Kate, do you want like a soda or something? Like, have some cola in there."
Yeah, I'll have a car.
Cool. And she'll get it out and just kind of hands you a can. So, um, what? Maybe we can meet like tomorrow or something.
Uh, yeah, I'm usually around this area in the morning. So if you're here, I'll probably be around. Want to meet
Yeah,
here?
there's this really cool coffee stand like not too far from here. There's actually a couple of students sleeping, and she points out like a couple of cars that are standing in the parking lot as well. Some of them like you can see some light in the car.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go in and get a little bit of sleep before tomorrow, like classes and everything. So yeah, I'll see you around. Okay.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. And
Okay.
if you need me, well, I'm right. I'll be, and he'll point to the bridge, which is probably not too far. Right over there.
Cool. Okay, I'll see you later.
See ya.
Okay. And yeah, you'll you just leave her. You can hear her actually uh kind of putting in like earplugs and starts like humming to the music. As you walk away from the parking lot, you can see a cop of walking past you with like three others. Um, they're kind of walking away that you'll have to actually step off the sideway to avoid them, or else you'll bump into them. Like they do not step away from like to make space for you.
What would he do?
Oh,
He'll
that's a
probably
good.
stop.
Okay.
Just stop. Like he doesn't purposely run into them, but he doesn't get out of the way. He just stops. Like,
In that case, they will like walk up to you at the last minute. Two of them will make like a little opening so that they will be able to walk past you, but they will like both of them will shoulder bump pretty hard into you so that you will actually lose your balance and fall on the ground. And they will just walk straight past you. They won't even comment on it. It's like they are doing a very good job at pretending you do not exist.
as he gets up, he probably murmurs to himself, "Assholes," and like keeps going, checking, and yeah, he'll flip like no, the not looking, but well, probably just taking a quick look, just flips them off as he
Hmm.
continues.
They're not looking back to you. They're walking in the direction of that car park. And as you kind of watch them and like the way they're walking, you start to feel like upset, annoyed, really. Like they're just a bunch of assholes. You shouldn't feel so worked up about it, but for fuck's sake, like you're still a human being. They can they can like notice you, and at least be a little polite. Like police is there to help the people, right? Not to just sort of pretend they're not there.
Yeah. Would it be fair to say he has a baseball bat like that he keeps somewhere?
I mean, while walking.
Probably not while walking, but where he sleeps or
Oh, where he sleeps. I mean, if you want to have a baseball bat and like a back, like somewhere hidden, I'm not quite sure how well you can hide, like, as a homeless person, I'm not quite sure how well you can hide, like, your own junk and what the rules are in that community. I don't want to judge in that, but, you can definitely say that you have, like, a big chunk of wood somewhere that you can grab it easily, where you know where it's hidden. That's
yeah.
fair. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, he'll probably keeping an eye on them for a bit and then quickly running to get his thing and coming back, or in a sprint.
Um, as you're running away, because you weren't that far from the car park, you start to hear some angry lower voices. Can't really make out what they're saying as you're running away from them. But at some point, like I wouldn't even say like a minute further in, you can hear a high pitched scream of a girl.
Okay,
It's from behind you. Yeah.
he didn't have time to get his
No, this
I guess.
happened in like less than a minute, as those cops are going towards the car park and you're walking away from them. It's like, yeah, you hear voices, you're shouting, and at some point you hear like a high pitched scream, like
Okay.
a girl's voice.
Well, unless it's like still in Ivy, like right here, like a few meters away, he'll probably run back then.
No, no, you're still like you're working with the kilometer system, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That makes it so much easier. You're like 1 kilometer away or something from the bridge. It's not too far away from the bridge, but it's still like, you would probably need at least 15 more minutes walking back and from
Yeah.
or running.
Yeah. No, so he'll just run back.
Okay.
If he'll try, like it's probably going to be difficult because he doesn't stop running. But if he can find something to use as a weapon,
mm,
like
if
in
you
the
want
trash
to
cans.
find, I mean, trash cans usually have like a closed lid or something, so you can't really look into them, but you can roll me actually roll me a luck dice, 1d10.
Okay.
I just realized I haven't started the scene. Start scene.
And I didn't open Discord.
Take your time. Take your time. Like basically anything below 6 you won't find anything. 6 and 7 I'll give you some, or 6, 7, 8 I'll give you something. If you have a 9, 10 you'll get something better.
A rocket launcher. What?
A bomb. Wow.
what,
No. Um,
what the hell is this going in the trash can? Okay, let's see. 4. No, it doesn't find anything.
wait, where are you rolling?
Oh wait, did I roll in the wrong one? Yeah, I just went. I rolled in Hunter.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. Let me ask Hunter ST then. No,
I
you can
rolled for.
re-roll it with Werewolf.
Where's Werewolf?
Two below
Um,
Hunter.
doesn't seem like Hunter, Werewolf.
Oh, you don't have access
Yeah,
yet?
I don't have access to it.
Oh, shite. What is your name?
Um, wait. I'm not even sure what. I know you changed it in this thing to be Ethan slash Nazar, which I should change Nazar since he's not in there anymore. But yeah,
I don't know. Else I'll just look. Can I
Ethan.
see it in Hunter? I should be able to see it in Hunter. Ah,
Yeah,
wait, there. I see you.
Ethan.
I see you. Yeah.
There we go.
So I found you in Hunter. Now I just need to get you to Werewolf. Ah,
There.
there
Well,
you go.
roll. Well, there we go. 110.
6.
Six.
So, what you find is you actually find a brick that is either going to be you can be able to throw it, or what you could do is you could like keep it in the palm of your hand and then use it to like do some extra damage if you try to hit someone.
Which yeah, he'll probably do that. He as he's running, he'll grab it in his wrist.
Yeah. So when you run back to the parking lot, you'll see Kylie, who is not necessarily standing next to the car, but more being pressed down on the hood by one of the cops, while uh, two of them are actually going through her car, like throwing everything out. There's a couple of bystanders. One of them has actually grabbed his phone and is filming all of this. Um, as these police officers are definitely making fun of her as they're throwing like all of her possessions on the ground. Um, uh, Kylie is crying and is screaming at them, is cursing, telling him like stop, please. I This is all my stuff. What the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing this? And yeah, the cops seem to be laughing. Actually, well, there's one of them that is sort of like coming up with excuses that they're really loudly saying like, we know you have drugs on you, you should give them up, you're a fucking homeless person, we have evidence, especially seems to be screaming that, actually more towards like the guy who's holding a cell phone and is like filming everything a couple of meters away. uh, no one really seems to dare to want to interfere. um, Kylie is trying to sort of resist, and the guy that's like pushing her on the hood of the car is actually like pushing her face forward, kind of smashing her face into the hood of the car and just kind of keeping it there pressed hard against the hood so that her nose is kind of flattened against the car.
Okay. How much noise are they making?
They're making a lot of noise, really, because the bystanders are also like, are like, not very loudly, but are still like protesting. Like you can hear sometimes like, "Hey, you can't do that! Stop that!" Not that the officers are doing it, are really like listening to them, and people are murmuring amongst each other like, we should stop this. How can we stop this? I don't know. We should call the police. You think we? Yeah, no, that's gonna do us a lot of good. These three are the police. Um, and yeah, like it's mostly Kylie that is actually shouting at this point, is screaming, crying, and you start to feel more and more angry as you watch this, as you come closer.
So yeah, he'll probably if he wants to sneak, it probably wouldn't be that hard. If he wants to like get a surprise attack.
If you want to get a surprise attack in, no, it's not that hard.
Yeah, no. So he'll well tell me if it's not a surprise attack, but what he'll do is run and then jump, like do one of those jump punches,
Mhm. Mhm.
and as he jumps, he probably goes, "Hey, piggy."
Okay, let me just quickly see. You have stealth. Just roll me your deck stealth, and I'll like just give me that, and then
Okay.
these guys are all kind of busy. They don't expect anyone to come up, but still, they don't spot you. Just gonna say that one of the guys who's like, who are you actually trying to hit? There's three of them. There's one of
The
you
one the one that's architect
holding.
that's on top of Kylie.
Okay, so at some point, basically as you're about to mid jump, one of the guys that's like, um, pulling like her sleeping bag from the car and literally just throws it in like a puddle. Just looks up and sees you, and he's like he's opening his mouth to scream, and that's when you hit like
Yeah.
his colleague. So you can roll me dex brawl. Um, take off like or adds. I'm just gonna give you two successes on that because that guy definitely didn't see you.
Okay. So two extra dice or two
Yeah, two
automatic.
extra dice on the two hits.
Nine. Damn you once. Oh well.
Still two successes.
Yeah.
And you can add. Just gonna give you two bashing extra. Like you can use two dice extra on your damage because of the rocket you're holding.
Okay. So strength plus two. Plus, okay. Tasha 60 10. That's one. Just two successes because
Two
of the one.
successes. Uh, guy soaks one. Right? No, wait. He soaks nothing. Um, so he's like, sort of falling away from Kylie. Or it's kind of stepping away actually, cursing as he didn't expect a hard blow against like his shoulder. Um, she's ducking away from the hood. Her nose is bleeding. There's blood on the hood of the car. Um, and these three guys are like two of them are pulling their guns and one of them is pulling like a baton.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I don't know if that's the right word for it, but I think you know what I mean.
Yeah.
um, and it's at that point that this anger that's been building up in you starts to like erupt. It's like a volcano that's sort of erupting inside of you. It's almost physically hurting as rage kind of overtakes you, and you hear yourself scream loudly, and you actually start to hear screams from others as well. But that's when kind of your vision and your sound starts to blur, and you have your first change.
So yeah, see, probably I'd say he has a complete blackout, right?
He has a complete
Yeah.
blackout. He does not know what's going on. He does not know what's happening. There is this kind of um, blur of murderous rage emotions, redness in front of your vision. It's like there's the rage is so loud that the rage itself is kind of screaming in your ears. You can feel your heart almost banging out of your chest as the adrenaline starts to kick in, and then there's nothing but blackness as you kind of feel yourself falling and you fall unconscious. Uh,
Okay.
for a while, there's just nothing. It's like slowly the world is coming back to you, and the first two thing you feel is that your body is aching, it's hurting all over. It is a strange sensation, as if you've been like on a sports camp for 4 days with barely any sleep and constant exercise. Um, and yeah, as you slowly open your eyes, you can see that it has grown completely dark by now, and there's a strange silence. It's just like you should hear something. Slowly, the memories that you had start to kind of, trickle back as you remember, like, you know, um, Kylie and the cops and the bystanders. And you think with this many people, there should be a sound. You should hear someone. You should hear something. But there's like nothing. And as you slowly open your eyes, um, you see that you're lying in something wet and sort of sticky. And slowly you start to realize that you're lying in a puddle of something.
So yeah, he'll probably kind of grab his face, kind of rubbing his eyes, trying to make the physical, both an attempt to make the physical pain go to kind of well when when you've just woken up, when you're not too sure what's happening. How you rub your eyes. So he's doing that, trying to look around, trying to get a better vision of what the hell is happening.
As you look around, the first thing you actually kind of see when you open your eyes and you sit up is the car. And at first, nothing really special seems to be going on with this car. But then you notice that this car was like silver, like a silvery metallic color, and there's like smears of red on it, and you can see like claw marks on the lack, almost as if some big animal has scratched open, like literally scratched open one of the back doors. Like this should not be possible. And then as you sort of look to this sort of red paint, that's what it looks like. You start to realize that it's like wet and it's dripping, and you lower your gaze down to the floor, and the underneath the car, there's actually a head staring at you, two big eyes staring right at you. It's for one of the cops that is looking right at you. And for a moment, you think, "Fuck!"
So yeah, he
And
probably like
then,
falls on his ass out of shock and keeps like pushing himself away from the fucking severed head staring back at him.
yes, there is a severed head staring back at you from underneath this car. And as you look around, you can see like the rest of the body parts of this head and this body are like all over the place. Like there is a loose limb here, there's a loose limb there, and slowly you start to realize that there are more limbs than there are actually heads because you only see one head now. And that's when you fully start to get a grasp of this massacre, that something has something has taken place here. All these people, like you start to see all sorts of body parts, and sometimes you're not even sure if it is a body part that you're looking at. You see like probably organs. You have a little bit of medical knowledge. Is that a heart that's lying there? You see bowels kind of, you know, rolled out over the floor. There are some bodies that are still like intact. Like there is a dude that was actually filming uh, the scene first. That is like, he's still there except for the middle part of his stomach, his belly is just gone. Like someone pushed a giant hand through it and then snatched it back, and there's just this giant opening in the center of his body. There is one person that only has half a head, and you can see its brains kind of leaking slowly out over the rest of his body. There's blood everywhere. It's like it's been raining blood. This car that has been the center of this fight is just covered in blood, in both inside and out. And if you actually look in the car, because doors were open, you see one of the cops kind of folded in a strange position with his head kind of stuck underneath the like the driver's seat. Clearly he's dead because no one alive could have his body folded up in this kind of manner. And it's just that everywhere you look, you see some body parts, some sort of organ in a puddle of blood. There's blood on you. Your clothes are gone. Um, Maybe you still have something of like what used to be your jacket, kind of stuck to the back of like literally to your back, but it's stuck there only because there's so much blood on your body that it's kind of stuck to it.
She's holding his head, like looking around, like fuck, what the? And he'll call out, Kylie, fuck, Kylie.
And yeah, you actually hear from behind the car where you didn't see her because I need to pull her picture up. I need some time for that. You hear a soft voice. Hey, help, please, help.
So
Someone.
see, he'll rush to where he's hearing it. Probably just like jumps over the hood if she's on the other side of the car.
Well, that's where the sound comes from, and yeah, as you start to look, you can see her, kind of half sitting there. Um, she also is covered in blood. One of her arms is missing, as well as on her left side, or no, sorry, on her right side, both her arm and her leg are missing. It's like there's only half of her body is left. She's bleeding out very fast. She's kind of leaning against the car, and as she sees you, her eyes just start to get wider and wider. As she's even now in her like state where she only has one arm and one leg left. She's trying to get away from you. Please, please don't do it. Please don't, please get
What?
away from, get away from me.
What?
You're gonna kill me.
What?
Please.
No, no. What?
And then you can see the light kind of die fading from her eyes as she slumps over, with fear being the last expression on her face as she dies.
And she does. He'll probably like without thinking, just out of instinct, like go to grab her. Like he knows he's dead, but probably yells that he just grabs her and like, God, he fuck, what? Carly, Carly, this is a fucking nightmare. This is just a fucking nightmare, right?
There's a shadow kind of falling over you as someone is standing behind you. Is looking down on you, and you'll hear a woman's voice from behind saying, "It's not a nightmare."
He probably turns around. What the? Who the fuck are you? What happened here?
And the woman you see standing there, you did not hear her come up at all. The woman that's standing there is like the first thing you notice is you look up at her face and you realize this is not where her face is yet. This woman is almost 2.5 meters long.
Holy shit, you a bit. Okay, what the. Okay, what the fuck happened here, giant Torella?
And she'll literally like grab you by the arm and pull you away from like Kylie's dead body, kind of pulling you to your feet.
What the. Yo, whoa, don't. You don't touch me. He'll like try and put her hand away.
Or what?
Fuck. Who are you? What?
Calm down.
Calm down, did you. I'm
Yes, I saw
fucking.
what you did.
Wait, what I did? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm naked. There's blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Fucking dead. What?
Okay, first things first. What's your name, kid?
What? I'm Dorian.
Dorian.
Dorian
Hi.
Atkins.
Pleasure to meet you. I am the brick through the window. Or you can call me Brick. It's easier that way.
Wait,
I
brick.
need to make, yeah, it's gonna take some explanations. Gonna have a quick phone call to get some people to clean up this mess. Did you see anyone alive?
No, no, she was alive fucking few seconds ago.
Yeah, these things are messy, but well.
Okay, what are these things? What happened here?
Okay, short version, and then I really need to make that phone call, so you're just gonna sit on your ass and wait for a moment. You're a werewolf. You just had your first change. This is the first time you became a werewolf. Gets all violent, gets all messy. It's sad that you weren't here alone.
There's some kind of fucking joke.
Nope. Does this look like a joke? As she's kind of pointing around the area.
No, this.
Yeah.
Fuck. Wait, fucking werewolf? I'm a. How the.
Okay.
Did I get bitten? I don't remember getting. I don't remember getting fucking bitten.
No, this is not about getting bitten or something. Wait, give me a moment. As she spots like something and I don't know, casually walks over and picks it up from like the guy with just a hole in his torso. He actually still had a cell phone in his hand, and she's going to hand the phone to Dorian. And the last thing that he can see is that there has been a recording
Oh.
because this guy was recording.
So yeah, he'll probably watch the recording.
And as he watches the recording, he can see like the cops grabbing Kylie and pulling her against the hood. Her screaming, them screaming that she should give them the drugs. Uh,
Sorry.
Oi, that's fine. And at some point, you can see like the cop near Kylie suddenly getting kind of blown aside by your punch, and you can actually hear him say like, "Whoa, dude, check that!" And then you can see the cops kind of pulling their guns and their weapons, and at that point, he will see actually himself shift into a Krynos. And it's there that the tape gets all like, or the recording gets all blurry because this guy is like trying to get the fuck away, uh while you can hear more people screaming, and you can see like flashes of your Crinus form ripping people apart, like throwing the cubs everywhere. One of them ending up in the car, one of them ending up beheaded underneath the car. One of them being like literally torn into, and then your Krynos form goes after the others, and you only see flashes of this, and then just a cell phone dropping and the recording kind of going on until like memory is full, and just stopping, kind of in with the same image, just the ground.
I'm a fucking. I'm a werewolf? This.
And meanwhile, as you're like looking at that, the brick is picked up like another brick, which is called a Nokia 33 200 or something. I don't know. One of those very old Nokia phones that will live for another 1,000 years unless their batteries run out. And you can hear her calling a guy named Steve, a guy named Wilkinson, basically telling him, "Yeah, we need a big cleanup crew here. It's this place. Yep, yeah, first change. Yeah, no, I'm bringing him in."
Dude, this can't be real. What the, this what?
It's pretty real, buddy. Um, she'll say as she hangs up and just sticks her hand out to get the cell phone that you're holding at the moment.
He shakily gives it to her. So
And she'll just break it. She'll just break the cell phone immediately.
uh, I did that. I killed all those people.
Yeah, you did. Sorry, bud. There's no easy way to this, but you did.
I and I fuck.
For what it's worth, you weren't you. First change usually usually people don't remember what happened during their first change. It's I guess it's the one time that we're at our strongest, but we're so strong that no one really there's no room for what's you in your first change. Look, why don't you come with me? I hmm there'll be a car here in a few minutes. A big a van. Could take you someplace where, we can talk easily and we'll have some spare clothes for you.
Oh, okay. Just and he'll go to Carly's body and do that. Close the eyes thing.
Hmm.
She didn't fucking deserve this. They didn't. None of maybe the fucking cops, but no, all these other people didn't deserve this.
Yeah. A lot of good people don't deserve a lot of things. It happens, it's life. You'll I can be long or short about this, but in the end you will probably have a lot of these moments where you will come in situations where people did not deserve what happened.
Fuck it. Well, I guess yeah, that's life.
Hey, are you hungry?
Strangely, I didn't eat so long ago, but yeah, I am. Don't know why.
Yeah, here. And she'll like toss him a cold Big Mac. She kind of pulls out of her pockets. It's flattened, but it's still like, good.
Yeah, he
No
doesn't
one is
care.
in trouble yet.
He'll eat it. So wait, shit.
By the time he's eaten it, there's probably a car coming. So, there's actually several cars coming at that point. And there's people jumping out of like fans and with like garbage bags and everything.
So he'll look. That's a lot of people. What did shit? Werewolves are fucking organized.
Yep, we need to be.
So your name, you said your name was Brick. Your parents didn't like you or something?
That's a long story. We'll get to that. Come on. And she'll actually, because there was one van that only like there was the driver getting out and just kind of standing there next to the van waiting for Brick and Dorian to get in. And the Brick will actually toss a blanket to Dorian so that he can kind of wrap himself up in that.
Yeah, he probably does that and tries to wipe away some of the blood that's on his face. So and how many So all these people there, all the people cleaning up, all
No,
work. Oh, okay.
as she'll kind of half push him into the fan and then slam the door, and as she get in, to slam the door as well. It's basically Dorian is sitting next to the driver because the brick will take up the entire back of like the car. It's kind of folded up in the back seat. Um, she's leaning forward as she is just kind of looking. The windows of this car are also sort of like blinded. Says no, these are our family members.
What
Family is very
family?
important. They're our kin.
Right, if you say so. Well,
Hmm.
my uncle could die in a fire. I wouldn't care. I'd probably
So,
fucking celebrate it.
so tell me about your parents. What do you know of them?
Well, mum died a few years ago. Had some kind of weird disease. Apparently, my uncle arranged for it to happen somehow. I don't know how the fuck that is. He was talking to some guy. Said he helped mom get sick and because she knew something she shouldn't. And yeah, that's she was she was sweet. Gave me my name. She named me after Dorian Gray, favorite book.
Okay.
Uh, dad, I no, I know his name. Uh, Ukyo Koyamato. But I don't know anything else about him. Mum said he was a brave dude, but shit, never met him. Ran out on me before I was born.
Hmm. That name does strike a bell, but I will ask. I'll ask Mama L. See what she knows about that. Look,
Mother L.
Mama L. Yeah. So first things first.
What is it with
You're a
you guys?
werewolf.
Yeah, got
Strange names. We'll get to that. This probably means that either your mom or your dad was one too, because it usually runs in the family. Doesn't have to be, but then at least one or both of them were kin, which
kid.
means
No,
that yes,
family member.
family member of a werewolf. Sometimes very distant family, but there's always in one's family line a werewolf. Most likely more than one. The way that your story goes, brave dad who left before you were born, kind of hints that that might have been a werewolf, especially since there's something about that name. It does ring a bell. So we're just gonna assume that for now. Which means that basically, genes, he passed them on to you. Voila. However, since either he didn't know that your mom was pregnant or he didn't care, but because we usually keep tabs on these things so that these kind of situations don't happen. However, in New York, it seems to be a little less so. So, usually, your mom or dad is a werewolf, you become one, we know about it, you know about it, we keep you in our places, the places that we live in, the places that no normal humans ever come, and we keep a close eye on you. You have your first change, nothing bad happens, and you can live your happy werewolf life. You're one of the exceptions. You're not the only one, so you're not unique, but it's definitely unusual. So we have a lot of learning to do. You will do a lot of learning because, yeah, you're one of us now. Uh, Werewolf. Like I said, it's in your blood. You're part spirit, part human, part wolf. You've seen what you look like at your worst. This is probably your best. There are rules, and one of the most important rules is that you're a werewolf. You're part of what we call the nation. We're at war.
A war with what?
Well, that is, we're at war with the worm. Basically, think of pollution, think of big companies that are trying to destroy nature. We follow, well, follow might not be the right word, but werewolves are the warriors of Gaia, Mother Earth, the greatest being. Yeah?
No offense, but that all sounds like some 90s sci-fi show.
You know what? A lot of things will sound like 90s sci fi shows. Gaia created the world. The
Gaia,
world,
oh, okay, like mother.
no, like
Oh,
Mother Earth, yes. She created, try it, Wild, Weaver, and Worm. Wild is chaos, life, a beginning. And then there's the Weaver, the middle. It's all about, you know, ordering things, keeping things as they are. And then, of course, at the end of the line, or at the end of the circle, which is more appropriate, is the worm, the destroyer. Well, it's pretty clear what he does.
the destroyer. I'm guessing he doesn't give around free fucking candy.
Exactly. So that was all as it was, as it should be, and all that. And then the worm got mad and wanted to take over, wanted to destroy all, more than he should. And then Gaia created others, us, amongst other things. And we are her warriors. It is our task to destroy the worm because he's gone mad. So we're fighting him. We're fighting his allies, and he has many. So this is the most important thing that you need to know: is that you're a werewolf. You're first and foremost, you're a soldier and a warrior, a fighter. Now you're not going to be in the front lines immediately, although being here in New York, you're pretty much in the front line already. You have the fortunate, well, unfortunate luck to be born in, well, in the midst of battle. There are a couple of battlegrounds in New York. Is one of them.
Oh shit, that's okay. That's a lot to take in one
I know.
night.
So that's about all I will tell you about our history for now. There's a lot more that you will need to learn on the nation. What's important for you to know now is that you will have time to learn this. You will be brought to our place of residence, which is Central Park. You will be safe there. We have barriers to protect us against humans.
I mean, from what I saw in that fucking video, I should be safe from a lot of fucking things.
You will be safe there. Trust me. The only thing you might not be safe from is ourselves.
Yeah, I'm
Important thing
getting the
though,
feel.
as you're learning, you're not allowed to leave Central Park.
All right.
Cubs have still need to learn to control their rage. So to protect yourself, to protect the rest of the city, to protect us, because it's important that our secrets is not like, on Fox News for obvious reasons. You will need to stay on the sept for as long as you are what we call a cub,
Uh,
aka a person in training.
Cub,
A cub,
like,
yes.
like a baby animal.
Yes, like a baby wolf. Because
Okay.
in our society, you are. This is a whole new world for you. There are many things that you will need to understand. The world as you know it is changed. It won't be the same anymore. You're not the only one. There are oh god. Okay, storyteller flunks one or two cups? Two cups still. No, one cup now. Yeah. There's another cub, so you will learn together until you are deemed, well, wise enough, well versed enough in our ways to stand on your own 2 feet.
Oh, okay. How much is there to learn? How long am I going to be a cub for?
I mean, that is gonna depend. You will be taught by the entirety of the sept, which is what we call well, our residence. So everybody who lives with us, even kin, can be your teacher. But myself and another will be your den parents. We will be responsible for your training, for your succeeding, and for your failing. You're allowed to make mistakes. We will carry the burden of that mistake until you're old enough to understand what you did wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot. I understand. And the car will, come to a stop at a parking lot of the Central Park, and the door will open, and the brick will kind of pull you out and pull you immediately into the park. It's almost running because she can't really be seen um, without people questioning her size. And you
Wait,
are well wrapped in a blanket, but other than that, naked and covered in blood.
what about my stuff? I don't have much, but I have some stuff.
If you tell me where it is, I will send some of the kin to pick it up after they cleaned up.
Yeah, if no that bridge like like a little bit over a kilometer away from where that shit happened.
Yeah, Queensbridge. Yeah.
Under that bridge, there's a tag saying there's a like a tag saying well with a like purple skull on it. Under there's my bag with stuff on it.
Okay.
It's under a big mattress.
She'll pull you further and further into the park, and until, like, comes to a place where there are actually several people. And it seems like they've been preparing for stuff, because there's a tub with like warm water that you can use to wash yourself, and there's a lot of food. Actually, there's pizza, there's burgers, a lot of meat.
Shit. He looks and kind of well doesn't completely his panic doesn't like strange feeling doesn't completely go away, but starts he does having starts having a smile because I don't know if whether I want to jump in the bath or have some food first.
Well, whatever you do, I'll make that phone call to get your stuff. And yeah, she will do exactly that, and will give you time to wash yourself and feed yourself. I think that would be a good moment to end the scene.
Yeah, he probably smiles as he gets in the bath, like he hasn't gotten a warm bath in a long time. And
Hmm.
yes, this is a good place to end the scene.
All right, then. With a new cup coming to the Sept of the Green, who is getting his last hot bath for a while, and probably also his last full belly for a while. We'll end the scene there. Thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This was another scene for Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York.